friends, and welcome back to my channel for another Create a Sim video. Today we're going to be starting a Create a Sim Legacy version of the Berry Pastel Rainbowcy created by Berry Sweet Boutique. I'm super excited because I'm going to be using the Sims Gossamer, Watercolor, and Heliotrope Shiraz, which were the Sims that I created as part of my Face-Off Challenge series that I've been doing on my channel. I was just really curious how their genetics would, mix, because after I made Heliotrope, I kind of pictured him being with Gossamer. So anyway, that is where this idea was born from. Before we jump right into baby making, let me give you a little bit of a backstory about Gossamer and Heliotrope. So Gossamer grew up in a straight brow, kind of old money household. She seemed to disappoint her parents at every turn and was a bit too avant-garde for their taste, but she met her high school sweetheart, who is Heliotrope Shiraz, and they were quickly inseparable. Gossamer got pregnant her senior year of high school, much to her parents' disappointment. They wanted her to have an abortion, but instead she ran off with Heliotrope and they started their life together. They had a rough start and she truly lived that struggling artist lifestyle. She gave birth to twins, Iceland and Polaris, who were both such energetic tots. They kept both Gossamer and Heliotrope on their toes. As they got a bit older, Iceland and Polaris became very much different. Iceland was a gloomy Eeyore type little boy who always thought the sky was going to fall. He was content staying inside and playing video games where he knew he'd be safe. Polaris, on the other hand, was such a social butterfly and kept up her young, childlike energy. She excelled in school and impressed her parents with how smart she was. So for this Create a Sim challenge, I'm following the Berry Pastel Rainbowcy rules, where the first generation has 5 children mixed between pink and purple Sims. So I did a random roll and determined that Gossamer would have 3 children with Heliotrope. And then from there, I did a few rolls to figure out gender and how many times to roll the genetics randomizer, as I was letting Create a Sim make their children. And that is how Gossamer and Heliotrope gave birth to Iceland and Polaris, which, as I mentioned, are twins. So I went ahead and split this first generation into 2 separate videos. We're gonna do Purple Sim, Heliotrope's kids, and then in another video I'm gonna do the Pink Sim, which I'm gonna leave a mystery for right now. And then after we finish the first generation, I'll of course have you vote for who you want to be the heir to carry on this Create a Sim legacy. So now we're on to making who's going to end up being Polaris. When I did the genetics roller, of course, she turned out completely white, which is cute, but of course I like a little bit more color, so I do end up giving her heterochromia eyes and giving her 1 purple eye. But anyway, I'm going to let you enjoy watching Polaris being created, and then I'll be back towards the end of her little clip to introduce baby number 3. So continuing their story, Despite Gossamer and Heliotrope being so close, as the twins grew, they could feel themselves drifting apart. Heliotrope would be gone on long fishing trips as he was a commercial fisherman. They decided to try for another child, hoping that having another baby would bring them closer again. Gossamer was starting to build a name for herself in the art world, so Heliotrope agreed to take a hiatus from fishing as the time grew near for her to give birth. They had another little boy, Phlox, who was a fussy toddler and gave them both much trouble. After about a year, they were struggling financially, so Heliotrope resumed his career. As Phlox aged, his fussy toddler ways continued into being a bit of a mischievous, and though Gossamer would never admit it or say it out loud, he was maybe even a little bit evil. Phlox had two sides to him. He absolutely loved nature and cared deeply about caring for the earth, and on the other hand was also a troublemaker and a bit evil towards others, especially his older siblings Iceland and Polaris. He loved putting dye in their shampoo as it was so easy to dye their snow white hair. So as I mentioned before, this generation is going to be split into two videos just because of the number of children, and there's, essentially two parts, two partners. So I hope you enjoyed this first part and meeting Iceland, Polaris, and Phlox, and I haven't created them yet, so it's a mystery for me too. We'll meet the other two children with our pink sim in the next video, and then I'll do kind of a recap of all of the kids and let you guys vote for your favorite as we move forward into generation 2, which is the peach generation. So you guys will have to let me know what you think of this new series so far. Are you excited to see a Create a Sim legacy brought to life on YouTube? I don't know that I've really seen this done here on YouTube, but I have seen it, and it's pretty popular on Tumblr and in the Discord, Very Gameplay Discord that I'm a part of. So now let's go ahead and officially introduce the three oldest kiddos for this Create a Sim legacy. So up first we have the oldest, Iceland Watercolor, and he is a teen so far. I'll of course age them up as we move forward, but in theory I'm going to leave them all as teens, even though if this was not in Create a Sim they would have be at varying life stages. So he is gloomy and lazy, and his aspiration right now is a computer whiz. Whoever we end up picking as heir, I'll adjust their traits accordingly. And then his twin sister Polaris Watercolor, she is super cute. She is a insider and a genius, and her aspiration currently is leader of the pack. And then their younger brother, Phlox Watercolor, is my little evil recycling sim, and he has the chief of mischief aspiration. So I picture him being evil, but in more of a mischievous way than like just outright evil. And so yeah, those are the three kiddos so far, our purple kiddos. You'll have to let me know who is your favorite so far, or are you really just looking forward to seeing the pink sims and you're not really jiving with any of these guys so far. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Happy simming!